Okay, so a couple things I wanted to touch on here was, where's my paper? I don't know. Anyway, so I didn't expect, I don't know why I didn't, this is the internet I was talking to here, but I didn't expect to get so many responses about the deck that I want to make. Now, here is where I'm at so far. Because I don't want to give the expectation that this is going to be done by next Friday. So this could possibly be, years in the making. So, and yes, I know it's expensive and the whole thing. I already know. I'm not starting Kickstarters and GoFundMes and all that. We'll get there eventually. So what I want to do is, because it's 78 images, I have about 10 so far. So to give you an idea of where I am, artistic wise, I can't draw whatsoever. Where is my paper back? Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. Yes, it is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Here is one of my images. I'll just tell it to you. And if you see it anywhere, then you know they stole it from here. So don't draw it up and send it to me, because I'm not commissioning you. So I'm not trying to pay you for anything. I just want you to know, for the artist out there, where I am when it comes to my visions. I'm not like a person who is so into the nuances of cards. Like, I'm not really into all of the details and the background. And, Lena Rodriguez is really great at that, and Dr. Victoria Scarabo. They're really good at, noticing the little things in the card, especially for those who study astronomy and things like that. But that is not me. Every now and then, an image will say, hey, point this out. So that's when I say the deck chooses the reading, is because of those type of things. But that is not where I go to in the beginning, which is why when I get cards that change the name or don't put the name on the card, I don't gravitate to those, because of the way that I pull cards. I pull kind of quickly. And so I don't need to spend 14 hours on what card is that? And then I got to go look it up, and that's, I ain't got time for all that. So anyway, so this is the images. This was actually the first image that popped into my head, was the death card. So this is what I envision. It's a city. There are like 5 buildings. There are no people, no cars. There's a street going down the middle. Okay, there's a street going down the middle. The other side of the street cannot be seen because it's not important. But you can see the white line where, it outlines the street. And you can see a little taste of the sidewalk, but it's not a whole lot because it's not important. It's just to let you know that this is a neighborhood, and, there's buildings on both sides. So the death card, or the death, or the reaper, or the skeleton, is walking down the street. One foot is in front of the other. He's not walking quickly, so there are no swoosh lines or nothing. But he's just walking, regular pace. And as he passes each building, the building is being consumed with like moss and vegetation. As in, this is the major change, this is the major transition, this is the major death to the old way, or new way, industrial revolutionized way of life. So he's, as the skeleton is, because he has a scythe in his hand, the reaper scythe, so he's walking through, and as he passes a building, vegetation covers that building. There's no people in it or anything like that. So, but there is windows. You can see the vines growing up the windows. You can see the moss and all kinds of vegetation covering the buildings as he walks through the street. Now, that's all I got. So I don't have anything about the sky and what's on the ground. There's newspaper flying around. That's not really where I went with that. All I cared about was the skeleton walking down the street. One foot is in front of the other to indicate motion. He has the scythe in his hand. And as he's walking, there's 3 buildings covered in vegetation. The other 2 are just plain. They're not covered because he hasn't gotten there yet. Just to let you know that there is a difference between what happened and what's going on. So that's where vision-wise I am with that. And if you are interested in whatever, doing this deck with me, you can send me how much you charge and all that. I don't, find that offensive or whatever. Just send it to me. That way we know. Because I know it's going to be expensive. At least like $100 an image. So we're talking $8,000 at the end of all of that. So and just, the basic. So I already know it's going to be expensive. But we'll get there. Not to mention, lawyers and patents and all this kind of stuff. Not patent, but copyrights, I think it is. Copyright or trademark. One is like, I think a trademark is on music and things. Patents are on inventions. And then a copyright, I think, is on ideas. I don't remember. Something like that. But this piece of paper, to explain my layouts, because in the book is not going to be, and this is another thing I have to tell you, just in case you don't want to attach your art to this. The book is not going to be detailed. It's not going to be, and I have 2 copies of this if somebody wants. This is what I learned from. A lot of people ask where I learned. This is what I learned from. I have 2 copies of this in case somebody wants to. I can send it to you. They don't come with any cards because I've already used the cards. But these are, actually I think I do have one more set. I don't know. Anyway, this is where I learned from. Josephine Ellershaw. And she does have a website and an email. And I did email her several times when I was first learning. And she was very, very helpful. Very nice, very patient. Josephine Ellershaw Easy Tarot Handbook. But there is 32 pages before she ever got to the meaning of the cards. And then she goes into the cards. Because there's a lot of setup that you need to do. Don't just rush in and try to read, and she was telling you all about all that type of stuff. That's not what I'm going to write. Now, what I focus on is I'll give you a background into where I got these images from, like the death card. And because that's what happens in here, she sort of explains Mr. Marchetti's work. Right here, she explains the work first, like why he drew what he drew in, sort of drawing you to the images of the card and the horizons of the water and the cup and the blah, blah, blah. Then she tells you what the card sort of stands for here, and then she tells you what the card means, and then, so she goes into more detail as the thing goes on. That's not what I'm trying to do. The book that I want to write is not even going to be this thick. We're talking, 78 cards. If you do one on each side, what is it, 34? Nope. 37? And so maybe a 50-page book. This is 200 and something, so we'll say 100 pages, because what I want to do is give, a little bit of background and all that type of stuff. And you can meet the artist if they choose to, do one of those things, like at the back. You don't need to meet me. You've met me on YouTube. But it's going to have brief descriptions of the cards, so I'll give you like 6 meanings like I did in my notes. I'll do 6 meanings of the cards and the brief description of what the card is. I will do layouts in the back. So like she did here. Blimey. So she did, this is the life spread. And so she did like different spreads in the back. This is the Celtic cross that she uses. And so I'll do that because I have done several spreads and people ask me what my card positions mean. I'll try to explain it. But this came with the book. And I have modified mine, so I'll explain both. But this is the tradition, well, I don't know if there's a traditional Celtic cross, but it's been modified 150 million times. So this is hers. Current situation, that's your first card. And then influence, the thing that influences your situation. So let's say you have a work problem and you have a problem with a person. Work would pop up here and that person would pop up there. Then you have past issues. So maybe you'll get the Five of Wands, which is the bickering card, and then you have immediate past. So past issues is like months to years. This is weeks. This is weeks to months. So this is immediate past. This is just past, so probably even days. And then this is your thoughts. This is what is basically leading you to this question. This might be like a Eight of Cups, like some sort of abandonment card, like you're trying to move away and move on. This is the immediate future, so days to weeks to months, so something that's about to happen or something that's just around the corner. Your fears. Environmental factors is how other people see your situation, not necessarily what's going on, because perception is reality to other people. They look at it and see, oh, this, but it's not actually that. But this is the environment. This is to let you know how other people see it. Your hopes, and then the outcome is the thing that's off in the future, so months. Now, I have modified mine, naturally, of course. And what I do is, let's see how far we can go back. Is I do, this card indicates you. This is the first one. Okay, so this is the first card. I don't do past and future anymore here. What I do is, this is what influences. This is your influence, so this is what's influencing the situation. This is also what's crossing the situation, so this is involved in this, heavily involved. This is the base. This is the thing that it sits on. This is the thing that's sort of, you can't have this situation without this influence. This is the crown. These two cards surround this. So this is the surrounding energy of this. This is the influence, but this is what's going on around. This is the left and the right hand, so this is your subconscious and conscious. So these also influence this, that middle card. So this is you, this is what you carry, this is what you stand on, this is what is above you. So your Three of Pentacles is your Apprentice card, your working card. What's influencing that work is the Four of Wands. There's an establishment, so a business of some sort. Their business is having new ideas and bad news all at the same time. So there's a new action and bad news. So this is the surrounding energies. Has something to do with a person. The Six of Wands is the celebrated person, or the person of importance, or the person of promotion. They are the ones bringing on the chaos to let you know that this is your surrounding energies. All of these are surrounding energies. Then I have your hopes. Oh no, excuse me, your fear. Your fear is illumination. And then I have your hopes. Your hopes is righteousness, justice, truth, honesty. This is your environment. This is telling you what's going on in your situation. So all of this should reflect into that. Uphill battle, which it does. If you're having a horrible person bringing horrible news and energy, uphill battle. This is what's behind the scenes. So this is sort of the thing that you cannot see right offhand. So this is just letting you know there's anxiety. This is some feelings. So this person in the middle the apprentice is dealing with some anxiety around all of this. This is my word of warning. This is back in the day when I used to do, after the reading, I would scoop them all up and then I would do like 2 more cards. It was the tarot's advice, that's what I called it. So that's what these are. Your word of solace would be there's a woman who could help you out. And then your word of warning, your word of warning was the woman in the midst, so that's probably this person. If you wanted to pinpoint who the person bringing the chaos was, it would be the Queen of Cups. Your word of solace, there is a King of Wands that can help you. So these are the tarot's advice. Your word of warning, here's what you look out for. Your word of solace, here's what you look out for. If you want help, here's what you look out for. And then there's the outcome. I only do 1 outcome card. In this thing, you had sort of 2 future cards. You had the immediate future, which was here, and then you have the outcome. So these are both really outcome cards to me, because most people, when they want a tarot reading, what they want is somebody to tell them their future. And the reason that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't is because the tarot is going to tell you, based on the trajectory of right now, here's what's going to happen. Based on the trajectory of right now, here's what's going to happen. So, this is going to slide off the table if I push it hard enough, right? Now, I say, the cards say, in the future, that it's going to hit the floor when it reaches the edge. That is the trajectory of what's happening right now. So the moment I push it hard enough, it's going to hit the floor. If I put something in front of it, I have now changed the trajectory. Now it's going to hit this and not the floor. So this is why, for instance, when people read on Donald Trump, and it seems like things keep changing, this is why. At the time of the reading, this was the trajectory. It was going this way. He was either on his way out, he was going to get impeached, he was going to, fly a kite that day, whatever he was going to do, this is the current trajectory. After what happened, or whatever it was that was going on with him, after all that happened, then the trajectory changed because something new came along. So that's why future is not set in stone. The Wheel of Fortune turns, but it's a fate and destiny card, but fate can be changed. I say this all the time about the whole glass thing. I say you're going to knock this over in 2 minutes. If I take it and put it outside, there's no way you can knock it over. You have changed destiny. So that's why that changes. That's why things change. That's why timing is so hard in the tarot, because trajectory changes. So, I didn't need that. Okay, so that's that. So that's the update on the deck. It's not coming anytime soon. The shirts are coming faster than the thing, or the deck, but those ain't coming next week either, because I still have to get a shirt press. And what I want to do is make my own shirts. I did the shirts through Teespring is what it's called, and it's very limited. You can basically write, Lord have all the mercy on there, and it's in block letters or whatever. But what I want to do is designs and, put that on there, of course, but, some other things, we can put Tarotsapprentice on there, or if I can find a royalty-free image, we can put some tarot cards on there. But, like, you can't put tarot cards that are in tarot decks because that's not royalty-free. So, I think that's it. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it for now. I do believe. What else did I have? Yeah, that's it for now. Bye.